I'm Judge Josie, and you're aligned with the frequency of Court of the New Moon. Bailiff, tell us a little bit more about today's case.
All rise. The Court of the New Moon is now in session. The Honorable Judge Josie presiding. Show respect, and don't let me catch you with snacks in here. You may be seated. Today's case on the docket, Lauren versus the money spell. The plaintiff, a self-described non-witch, took it upon herself to perform a money spell with the expectation of increasing her money. No training, no experience, just vibes, I guess. Lauren claims her situation did not unfold in her favor and has come before this court seeking answers as to what went wrong and who, if anyone, is responsible. The court will now hear her statement. Judge Josie presiding.
Court of the New Moon is now in session. Everybody take a deep breath in. And exhale the nonsense, and thank you all for putting your phones away and not bringing gum into my courtroom. So let's hear from Lauren. Let's see what Lauren's got going on. 1 second. Bailiff, why was this not already in front of me? Come on, guys. I'm hungry. Are you guys hungry? Anybody in here hungry? It's okay to nod. Yeah, I'm starving. So, Lauren, your case might go a little bit fast today, my dear, but today we have a letter from Lauren who did a money spell, and here is what Lauren has to say to the court. Dear Judge Josie, I am writing to you with a heavy heart, and honestly, there's a lot of confusion in my head. I hope it's okay that I'm even submitting this because I am not actually a witch, and I'm worried that I might have done something wrong, or that I offended you or other witches by attempting spell work in the first place. Let me stop you right there, Lauren, before I keep going. You did not. And I am a judge that actually stops to tell people these things instead of just sitting quietly and nodding. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not offended. And if another witch is, then they likely don't really understand witchcraft, but that's okay. Let's continue. If I offended any of the witches, or you, I am truly sorry. As I said before, you did not. A few months ago, I did a very easy money spell. I wasn't trying to be greedy. I just needed enough for financial relief. I was stressed, living paycheck to paycheck, and hoping for some sort of stability. I did cleanse myself and my home before and after I did this ceremony. I was calm, intentional, and the candle burned normally. There was nothing that went wrong during the spell itself. The candle didn't look weird, which is why I'm confused by what happened after that. Soon after, not only did my boyfriend break up with me, I found out that he had been cheating. Oh, Lauren. Okay. I'm sorry. He didn't actually give me a reason at that time, but of course I looked. Of course you did. Nothing wrong with that. There was no fight. There was no warning. We didn't have much of a conversation after that. He just left, and I have not heard from him since then. And then it got worse because I got laid off. Oh my God, Lauren. Now at the time of this letter, I am packing my life up to move to Houston. I've never lived in Houston, and I'm going to be staying with my sister for a while. I'm actually currently located in New York, and I've never lived in Texas. I've never visited Texas. I know that you were raised there, Judge Josie. Do you like Texas? I'm going to stay hopeful, but I am scared. Everything fell apart so fast, and it feels like my spell blew up in my face, and my life has not been the same since. I thought that the spell would help. I keep replaying this in my head over and over, wondering, what did I do wrong? What did I not use? Was I not clear or strong enough? Did I ask for money in the wrong way? Did I open some sort of portal that I shouldn't have? I'm asking for the mercy of the Court of the New Moon. Please help me understand what happened and if this is my fault. Respectfully, Lauren. Oh, wow, Lauren. Well, Lauren, I'm going to answer your questions, first of all, and this is kind of going to be a lesson for everybody who doesn't do witchcraft or may not be as familiar. Witchcraft is simply the movement of energy. It is commanding of the energy, and this applies to any spell. I want to first address your question of you asked me if I liked growing up in Texas. I did not at all. And that's not to say that it's going to be terrible for you. So I'm not going to get too far into what it was like for me growing up as an Afro-Latina witch, growing up as Brazilian. I'm not sure of your background. You didn't mention any of that, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. It would matter in a place like Texas, unfortunately. But, it might be very different for you. Houston is actually one of the places in Texas that I like. So, I will say that I don't have really anything negative to say about Houston in particular. So you might really enjoy it. Let me know for sure. I expect that you will be following up with me, Lauren. That will actually be part of the sentence. I can tell you that now. But to address your next question, where you asked what went wrong. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read over it. Was I not clear enough? Did I ask for money in the wrong way? Did I open some sort of portal? To answer all of these questions, I would need to know more about the spell itself. You're welcome to reach out to me directly and tell me. You're actually going to receive my personal email after this, or you already have, and so that you can just reach out to me. But I would need to know how the spell went itself. You mentioned that you did your spiritual cleansing before and after. Nothing went wrong with the spell itself. But I'm going to answer your questions before I get into more of what I see here and my verdict. Okay. So starting off with me needing to know more about the spell itself. You asked, were you not clear enough? It does depend on if you used petition, if you were writing in the candle, if you did a jar spell. You do have to be extremely clear when it comes to any sort of spell work or manifestation. Obviously, on Lua Nova, I teach manifestation, and I tell you all the time that words are spells. You have to be extremely intentional with your wording. It doesn't mean you did something wrong. It means that the universe only responds to energy. It doesn't respond to the language you're using. It doesn't respond to the words themselves, because think about it, that the universe only understands our frequency. The universe does not understand if you said it in French versus if you said it in English. The translation would be the energy behind it. So I'm just going to say here, just as an example, that's not to say that you did this. If you did this spell and you weren't clear because you weren't really sure of yourself, then you were bringing in the energy of not being sure of yourself when doing the spell. If you really didn't believe that the amount that you were saying that you needed, first of all, I'm going to come back to using the word need. If you weren't clear, or you weren't really believing that you would receive this, then that's the energy that you went into the spell with. Okay. And so as far as you being clear, it wasn't in the wording itself. It was in your intention and your energy. If your energy wasn't clear, then that would tell me a lot. So I do need to know more about that. And did you ask for money in the wrong way? Again, that comes back to your energy itself. There's no wrong way, because everybody does spells differently. Even if I do a spell the exact way that, let's say, my great grandmother passed down to me, I'm going to do it in my own way. I've said on my show many times that I don't practice in the exact same way that my ancestors did. That is because witchcraft is personal. It is very much so based on your intentions, your energy, your own frequencies, things like that. So I would love to know more about what time of the day did you do the spell? What day of the week? Did you use the moon? Did you work with the planet Jupiter? Did you work with a deity? Things like that. You didn't mention any of that, so I'm assuming when you said it's a simple spell that you kind of just did it quickly and it wasn't based on any of that. And that's okay. I want to put that out there for those of you who are new to doing witchcraft. It is perfectly fine if you decide, I just want to do a spell. I just want to do it. Why not? I don't care that it's a waning moon. I don't care that I am sick right now. Now, do I advise you to do spells when you're sick? No. But if you just feel compelled to, go for it. Okay? But I don't think that you necessarily asked in the wrong way. I do think that there's likely something that shifted here, and I'm about to get into that. And did I open a portal? I think you did. but it's not as scary as it sounds. As for asking for the mercy of the court of the new moon, well, Lauren, I don't see where you did anything wrong here at all. I think that the way that you came across was heartfelt and a little bit fearful. And I want to focus on you and the fear that you have of your own energy, because what you did was a spell that worked. And what I'm going to get into before I give you my ruling is a lesson for everybody. When you do money spells, love spells, anything that takes a big shift in your life, it is not uncommon for everything to fall apart. That is actually a big indicator that the spell worked. It may not have worked the way that you assumed it would, but you should never make assumptions when it comes to the universe. And anybody that is new to Court of the New Moon and has never listened to Lua Nova, when I refer to the universe, I have to say this all the time, I am referring to many different energies. Many of you think of the universe as as another name for God. It is partly another name for God, but it is also referring to our spirit team, which are our guardian angels, our ancestors, the deities that we work with, and yes, God themselves. Because when I think of God as being just an energy, a source, not male or female. So all of that does play a factor in opening certain portals. Those portals needed to be open, Lauren, to be perfectly honest with you. When I discuss being your highest self, in order to get to the level of what is considered your highest self, which is the version of you that doesn't stress about money, the version of you that is financially independent, that version of you had to have a starting point. If you start, as an example, if you start with the Bentley, there's not much higher to go, is there? So if you start off with a brand new regular sedan, though, you have a lot farther to go. The Bentley is the version of your highest self. The brand new car that's just a regular, let's say, Nissan, nothing wrong with Nissan, is the starting point, right? So you were wanting to start off with the Nissan. Well, in order to even get there, you had to have a starting point. There had to be a beginning. Because right now, think of it as, and I always use car analogies, I know this. Blame it on years of selling cars. Think of it as you are the version of the car that needs to be fixed. The pre-owned vehicle that needs a lot of work. Okay? That's how you see yourself. That's not how the universe sees you, though. The universe already sees the Bentley. But in order for you to see it, sometimes everything has to be cleared out of the way. First of all, you found out that your now ex-boyfriend was cheating. The universe did you a favor. That is the protection of your spirit guides. That is them saying this was always meant to happen. That guilt that was eating him up alive was thanks to that spirit team saying, we are going to stay on his neck until he gets out of your way. Because in order for you to be where it is that you need to be, he has to get out of the way. The universe saying maybe it's time for you to change environments. That is the biggest indicator of your spell worked. Okay? Because anytime we do spell work, that's what we're wanting. We're wanting to see a giant shift in our life. Doesn't mean that the shift is pretty. Okay? At all. It doesn't. Before I got my dream car, I had to drive a real raggedy one. Okay? And I know I'm using a car example again, but that car I purposely chose because it was safe, it was reliable, and it was just a car that would get me from point A to point B. When it was time to get the dream car, I never looked back. But when I got that car, that was just the car that was for point A to point B, it was after a severe accident that was supposed to completely kill me. Okay? And so sometimes when I say that the universe steps in and it is brutal, it is brutal. It's not there to punish you. It's not there to hurt you. It's not even there to scare you. But sometimes things have to happen in order for you to get to that version of you that is now thriving in Houston, that hasn't thought twice about that ex. I hope that at the time of this recording that you're actually already there. Okay. So with that being said, I need to go to my chambers because I need to think about my ruling. So one moment, new moons. Hey, bailiff, what's going on out there? I'm sorry. They're playing Bad Bunny and they're doing what? In my courtroom. They're samba. Okay. To honor me. Well, I feel honored enough. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. I need you to have them turn it down a scotch. Okay. I'm trying to think. Got to get this verdict right. You know, I'm still getting the hang of this with the gavel and things. Was it loud enough? Tell me the truth. Louder? Okay. Well, let me just bust everybody's eardrum out, I guess. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I still got to get, cause I was thinking maybe glitter. Okay. You know what? Yes. Let me get back to it. You quiet them down. Thank you. All right. Court of the New Moon has reached its ruling. So Lauren, I need you to take a deep breath and go ahead and exhale the nonsense because I am finding you not guilty. You can take a deep breath. Everything's okay. You did not do anything wrong. Okay. You are not guilty of doing some sort of negative magic. You're not guilty of being reckless. You're not guilty of offending the universe or any of us real witches. Okay. There was no chaos in the work itself. And so what followed seems like punishment, but it was actually just the restructuring of your life. And so when a spell appears to blow up your life, it is often because the life that you were standing in just could not support what you asked for and what you're meant to have. Okay. Money is not about just the physical embodiment of it. It's about stability. It's about sustainability, and it's about the energy of support. Okay. And so that dusty ex-boyfriend now, he had to go, girl. And there is no explanation needed. The universe acted swiftly. All right. There was no emotional safety in that relationship, and you deserve that. All right. And so sometimes does the universe kind of throw everything around to clear the room? Yeah. Because you asked for more and you deserve more because you knew already that you were worthy of more. And I hope that you keep doing spells. As a matter of fact, let's talk about your sentence. I sentence you to learn more about witchcraft. And that's it. I sentence you to follow up with me and let me know how things are going. I want you to stop asking things like, what did I do wrong? Instead, I want you to ask, what is being made possible for me now? What is the feeling of being financially independent? What does that feel like? I haven't asked you all about that enough. The feeling of what you've wanted to manifest. Okay. And I want you to think of something like this in the future. Consider it your own affirmation. I want you to say to yourself, I am supported wherever I land. Okay. Because what I see is somebody who's being guided to stable opportunities in your life. You didn't break your life. You didn't ruin anything. All you did was actually crack open that portal and say, I am ready to be the highest version of Lauren. All right. So this case is, oh my God, not me stumbling. This case is closed. Court of the New Moon is now adjourned. I noticed that the last time I did the little gavel thing, you couldn't even hear it, guys. So I hope you guys heard it this time and I didn't give you a little weak, no, we can't do that. Obrigada, New Moons, for aligning with the frequency of Court of the New Moon. You can submit your case to Court of the New Moon by going to courtofthenewmoon.com. If you would like to learn more about the Lua Nova brand, me, the Lua Nova podcast, Court of the New Moon, any of that, go to luanovapodcast.net and always check the show notes for extra details. All right, New Moons, let's talk a little bit about today's case, because what I hope that you got out of this is that you are, in fact, the alchemist of your own life. So do not be afraid of your magic. Do not be afraid to take your power and own it and to take any energy back from you, because that's what Lauren did. She didn't realize it, but as soon as she got rid of that Dusty in her life, all of the doors started opening. She just doesn't know it yet. But I hope that you all learn that I tell you all the time that you are the alchemist of your own life, okay? And that our spirit team, they have no problem jumping in when need be, all right? Lauren's spirit team does not play about her. Watch when she follows up with us. I bet you that everything that I said comes to life, and so it is. Court of the New Moon is a monthly spinoff of the Lua Nova podcast hosted by me, Josie the Mustang, the afro-latina goddess of witches, okay? Yes, my podcast is satirical in nature, and there are things like ethical questions around manifestation and spell work that I do explore for entertainment purposes only. I am not an actual judge, and this is not a real court of law. Any cases that are submitted to me from listeners do not involve actual legal proceedings. No legal advice is given or implied. And by now you know how to submit your case, you know how to reach Lua Nova, and to any of you who want to contribute to Court of the New Moon or Lua Nova, and by supporting the show, you can do so via Venmo or Cash App. The Venmo username is @Lua Nova. The Cash App username is $Lua Nova Podcast. Thank you all so much for continuing to contribute to the Lua Nova team. You keep helping me grow. I can't say thank you enough in any language. If you want to join Patreon, go to patreon.com/the Lua Nova Podcast. That is where you get extra content. And there's not Court of the New Moon content on there yet. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, but there will be in the future. I just don't know in what capacity just yet. So bear with me. But for more information, always check the show notes, as I said, and I will meet you right here back in my courtroom next month, New Moons. I have not chosen the case yet, so send me some really good ones. Copyright 2025, Lua Nova. All rights reserved. Yes, I do have to say all of that. Talk to you soon, New Moons. Ciao, ciao. Oh, court is adjourned.
This has been a Lua Nova production. May what you ask for be aligned, and may what arrives be for your highest good. And so it is. Esto ha sido una producción de Lua Nova. Que lo que pidas esté alineado, y que lo que llegue sea para tu bien. Y así será.